You can't, certain things you just can't teach.
So there's a difference between actors and movie stars, right? So actors understand their role and they can deliver their role. And movie stars kind of have a picture of the whole of the project.
At that age, you take rejection, personally. Yeah, I guess I did anyway.
Yeah.
And used it as a healthy chip on my shoulder, to motivate myself to continue to, work hard and kind of stay locked in. But also it kind of fortified this belief of what's for me is for me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can take my blessings away from me, and I can't take that.
Racial slur was shouted when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting an award at the BAFTA. BAFTAs air 2 hours after they're filmed, so they had 2 hours to edit that moment or edit that sound, the word, out. And they didn't.
Not Will Smith going off on Michael B. Jordan after he snatched up an Oscar for Sinners. A lot of people in the industry are beside themselves over Michael's win, with some of them even calling it a sympathy win. But the last person anyone expected to join in on the BS was Will Smith. Word on the street is Hollywood is preparing to officially replace Will with Michael, and this Oscar win is the first major step to push Michael. Initially, people were actually confused as to why Will was throwing shade, especially since he and Michael are even supposed to be working on a new movie right now. And the sad part is, Michael actually gave credit to Will during his Oscar speech.
Staying here because of the people that came before me. Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, Forrest Whitaker, Will Smith.
This mess started after Michael B. Jordan won his first ever Oscar in the Best Actor category for his dual roles in Sinners. Now, for some reason, this win has a lot of people mad because they felt like he didn't deserve it. Some people just flat out said his performance wasn't that good. But other people took it a step further to accuse the Academy of giving him a sympathy award, only after he was initiated and humiliated when he was called the N-word at the BAFTAs a couple of weeks ago. So what happened was, Michael and Delroy Lindo went up on stage to present Best Visual Effects for Sinners, when a man in the audience, who has since been identified as John Davidson, shouted out the N-word. Mind you, this man is white. Not only that, the BBC decided to still air this to the public, even though they had more than enough time to edit it out before that part got live streamed to people watching at home. Michael and Delroy couldn't even react to this, or else they'll probably get labeled as angry black men. So guess what? They just had to move on and present the award like they didn't just get attacked by a random white man unprovoked.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
Now get this. Other black people weren't even allowed to be upset because as soon as they started talking about what happened on social media, white people, mostly the racist ones, decided to defend John by claiming that he has Tourette's. Basically, it's a condition that makes people say things that they don't actually mean. And sometimes those things can be derogatory. And I mean, yes, I understand that he has a condition, but what are the odds that he just happens to say this when two black men were on stage?
And the crazy thing about it, this could have been edited out and muted by the British Broadcasting Network. Because for one, the BAFTAs aren't a live event, and for two, they were muting people saying Free Palestine. When Akinola Davis Jr. accepted his award for Outstanding Debut by a British director, he ended his speech by saying Free Palestine, which was muted by the BBC. So if they wanted to keep things professional, why not mute the slur that has been used to degrade black people for God knows how long? That wouldn't have resolved the issue, but them not doing so shows what side of the coin the BBC are on. Regardless, those of you who are screaming ableism at black people saying that John Davidson should apologize are extremely tone deaf. Y'all are forcing black people to not care because he's disabled? When in reality, a simple I'm sorry to Michael, Delroy, the audience, and those watching would have calmed this incident down.
Anyway, the BAFTAs and the BBC ended up apologizing, but people were still not having it. Now, right after this, the Oscars were coming up, and people already started claiming that the Oscars would most probably give Michael an award, either as a form of apology or because that N-word attack was a sort of humiliation ritual. And to absolutely no one's surprise, that was the exact narrative they ran with as soon as he won. It's like they were planting the seed so that when he rightfully wins, they'll discredit him by labeling it a sympathy award. But it didn't stop there. There were also rumors going around that several industry players, including Will Smith, agreed on this. because he was also allegedly part of the same ritual. Do y'all remember how Will Smith got that Oscar after he went up on stage and slapped Chris Rock and made a fool out of himself?
Richard! Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
And movie stars kind of have a picture of the whole of the project, right? So Tom Cruise knows everybody's job, and he knows how to deliver himself to be in the best light for the whole. He handles everything through production, through editing, through marketing, right? So Michael B. Jordan is a movie star. He understands the whole of it. And you know, sometimes if you have a really difficult role, you want to just do that. And you know, for Ali, I've turned everything off. Michael Mann handled everything.
Yeah, right. Apparently, several calls were made to the Academy by top actors and studio executives, going off on the Academy for bending to the pressure. You see, most of you probably don't know this, but when Michael was just getting started in the industry, he gave Will Smith credit for mentoring him. Not only that, after Will's infamous 2022 Oscar fiasco with Chris Rock, Michael was actually one of the only celebrities who were still publicly siding with Will. In fact, it was right after that incident that Will announced that he was working on I Am a Legend 2 with Michael. And as you can expect, Michael got a lot of backlash for it, but he stood 10 toes down him. Fast forward to 2026, and now Will is allegedly talking down on Michael for winning his first ever Oscar? You cannot make this up. But here's where things get a little crazy. Word on the street is that after Will's crash out at the Oscars, the industry decided that he was not fit to be their top black actor, and that's when they started making moves to officially replace him with Michael. In fact, on the night that he attacked Chris, he won his first ever Oscar, but no one even talked about it. Some people didn't even know he won an Oscar that night. The only thing that was trending was that he attacked Chris for making a joke about Jada's bald head. Michael, on the other hand, could have acted the same way at the BAFTAs when he was called the N-word, but he maintained his composure, finished what he was initially brought on stage to do, and went about his night. I'm not saying his reaction was right or wrong, but that's the exact kind of black man the industry wants. Someone they can control. Will Smith was that person for them for decades till he started getting himself into some very questionable situations. First, it was Jada getting into an entanglement with August Alsina, then him slapping Chris, and now a lawsuit against him by a male violinist for an alleged SA. It's just not looking good for him anymore. Now, at the end of the day, these are all just rumors, but if there's any truth to it, Will is better off just bowing out peacefully instead of picking on a young black man doing well for himself in the industry. Allegedly, of course. In the meantime, people had their thoughts like this person who said, when it's all said and done, Michael B. Jordan's filmography is going to poo on Will Smith's. Another person said, Michael B. Jordan is our new Will Smith, pre-slap. So glad he won. Sinners was my favorite movie last year. But now I want to know your thoughts. Do you really think Michael's win is a sign that the industry is trying to replace Will Smith? And what do you think of people calling Michael's win a sympathy win? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.